What's good, YouTube? Galladite74 here, bringing you another Mega Evolution video today. This was supposed to be up on Friday, but of course I didn't get to it, because that's me, I'm sorry. But today we are going to be going over Mega Houndoom. This is my third favorite Mega of all the Mega Evolutions, and I really like this thing. I really think it is underrated, and I know a lot of people don't like it, and I can see why, but I really think it's a good Pokemon once it gets going. Yeah, I think there's not really much else to say about this. I love its design. It's really cool looking. It's just so menacing and all. But we're going to get right into this video, and we're going to be talking about Houndoom's typing. It's a Fire Dark typing, which is a really good type actually, even though it's not really a defensive Pokemon at all. We got 4 weaknesses, however, it's got 6 resistances and an immunity, which is pretty good counter. Weaknesses being water, rock, ground, and fighting, which is kind of common actually, which does suck. Immunity to psychic's always nice. Its resistances: ghost, steel, fire, grass, ice, and dark. They're alright resistances. They're not the best, but fire and ice resistance is actually really good to have, which is any fire type really. Dark ghost is good as well. Steel, because of the new fairies coming out, you can resist that as well. And when it mega evolves, it keeps the same type. So we're going to go on right to its stats. Houndoom's stats regularly are meh. 110 special attacks is best stat, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good special attack to have. 95 speed's alright too. Its defenses, 80's alright, and 50's really bad. And it's got 90 attack, so it can be a mixed attacker if you really want to run it. 75 HP, which is alright. But yeah, its special attack is mainly what it's good for. But it can be a physical attacker. If you want to have fun, that's a good way to have it. But when it Mega Evolves, however, it doesn't gain anything in attack. It gains 40 in defense, which is kind of unnecessary, but it can actually take a hit now, which is good if you want to set up. It gets 30 in special attack, which is nice. And it gets more stats in its speed as well. This is the problem I had. I'm not trying to like talk bad on Houndoom. Oh, and it gets plus 10 in special defense. It gets from the 95 speed to 115 speed, and since you're Mega Evolving, the speed stat is what doesn't change. So getting around that first turn is kind of hard for Houndoom, and I'll explain why later. But besides that, its special attack's really good, and it gets that huge buff. Really mattered in defense actually, because I think it does because you can take a hit now. Alright, now going on to what I like to do with it. Excuse me. Houndoom gets the ability Solar Power, and it has the Houndoomnite, obviously. Solar Power in the sun is basically choice specs, but you get to choose your move. However, you lose 1/8 health each turn, which is alright if somebody else sets Sun. I wouldn't run Sunny Day on Mega Houndoom, even though it's a part of those moves. The set I like to run is Nasty Plot, Substitute, Flamethrower, and Dark Pulse. Now, Protect would be really handy on Houndoom. I don't know why I don't have it in the other moves over on my right, sorry. But Protect, like, if there was a 5th move in allowed, which Sun and Moon might be able to have, probably not. But if there was a 5th move Pokemon could have, Mega Houndoom could easily be an OU. Because I would use Substitute, but since I was getting outspit the first turn, it didn't really matter. But in cases it does work, you set up a Substitute, they get a switch because you send in Houndoom on a good switch in, then you use Nasty Plot, they break your sub, you're faster than them, Flamethrower and Dark Pulse absolutely destroys. That is a really good combo in Houndoom, having Stab, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, and you can run other moves like Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb as well. Even Solar Beam if you have to sign up for some reason for somebody else sets it up. I run 252 in special attack and speed because you need the most out of that speed. I run Timid Nature to get more speed, but Modest definitely works too. If you want to work a physical one, you could run like Counter works a lot too with that high defense now. Get Sucker Punch as well. You can burn people down with Will-O-Wisp as well to make sure they're not doing as much. Other special options would be Overheat, and even Destiny Bond is a really good option on Mega Houndoom. And going on to some other notes, it's the Dark Pokemon. It was introduced in the Johto 2nd generation. Him and Houndour are the only Pokemon that's Fire Dark, which is one of my personal favorite typings. like combined with each other. Its other abilities are Early Bird, Flash Fire, my bad, and Unnerve, which is alright, but we're not really focusing on that. This was what I thought was interesting. In Generation 6, Pokemon X is the only game you can obtain this Pokemon, which is kind of crazy, thinking that well, X was the first game I had, but then I been playing Alpha Sapphire a lot and realized I couldn't get it at all, so I had to trade it. But yeah, just keep that in mind. If you want to Houndoom, you might want to get X. And it's the first Elite Four Pokemon to lose in the anime, not when it faces like a champion or another Elite Four. When you're facing a regular trainer, this is the first. Houndoom is the first Pokemon to lose. It lost to Alan's Mega Charizard in a really good battle in those shorts. But yeah, those are some cool facts about Houndoom. That's everything about it. I sounded pretty negative about it, but Houndoom's actually really good once it gets set up. But now I'm going to go on to these battles. So this is the first battle I had. I lost this one and I won. That's how most of my videos go. I tiered this to be an OU since I brought a Skarmory. I actually forget what Pokemon. They brought a Manaphy, the event one, which is cool. I set up Stealth Rock because Focus Sash kind of sucks because I don't have any priority on Houndoom or Skarmory, so that's why Stealth Rock is usually the best option. Or any like other hazards. I also carry spikes and toxic spikes on Fortress, but if I just want to just get entry hazards as fast as I can, I just go boom right after, in which this case I did. I went explosion right after I set up my rocks, just so this Manaphy, even though it's at +6 now, it didn't matter because Tail Glow is really OP. But if it was any other move besides Tail Glow, they wouldn't have a full chance to get like completely set up. I'm gonna send out Skarmory because I know I can take a hit due to its sturdy ability. I'm gonna use Agility, thinking I was actually slower, but I ended up being faster, so that was kind of pointless. I could have just killed it, but they went for Surf, and that's gonna bring me down all the way to 30 without a doubt. I'm gonna go for the Drill Peck this time because it's my most powerful move on the Skarmory, and I think it's just gonna take out the Manaphy. I get a critical hit. I'm not sure if that mattered, but yeah, Manaphy's down. Excuse me. Now they're gonna send out Raichu, and this Raichu, really, I made a really big mistake. You'll see later in this match is why I lost. I'm gonna go for Rock Slide because that's the only thing I can really hit this thing with. Because both my stab moves are resisted. I get a lucky flinch on this turn, so I'm just gonna go for it again. I'm hoping for another flinch for Rock Slide, but sadly I just don't get it. And they're gonna go for a Brick Break, and that's gonna finish me off, which tells me that my Houndoom is kind of in trouble since it's a Brick Break. Luckily it's a Raichu and I know it won't be able to one-shot me. So here I decided, since it's just going to hit me with Brick Break, I know it can take one. I'm going to go for the Nasty Plot because I know I'll be faster once I Mega Evolve. So yeah. But of course, once again, I was actually faster, so I just set up straight Nasty Plot. I could have went for this as a substitute, but I didn't think, I knew Brick Break would break it, but they went for the Thunder Wave, which was really bad for me. And yeah, it slowed me down. If I went for sub, I would have avoided that safely. And now they're going to be able to get the Brick Break off. I know I'm going to be able to take it and knock out this Raichu, but their next Pokemon, the Sceptile I was talking about, that I'm going to be slower than it. And even if I wasn't slower, I would maybe be able to take a hit if I was at full HP. But since I've taken some damage now, Sceptile is going to come out. It's going to be faster, and I take a little Self-Rock damage, but that doesn't really matter. It's going to be Mega Sceptile, which Mega Sceptile is really good. I went over it my last Mega, actually, believe it or not. They're going to be outspeed me, and they're actually going for Outrage, a physical one, which is pretty cool. Outrage is a good move to have on it if it's physical, and that's Houndoom's definitely not living that. And that was the first battle, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed the battle a lot. It was pretty quick, but that was the first battle. Now, going on to the second battle, this battle was more luck-based for me, I think. At least the ending was. But anyway, they're going to start off with a Superior. And once I saw this, I had Fortress lead. And I was thinking, if I was me, I'd probably just go for a Leaf Storm right away. They actually set up a Reflect, which is alright play for them. I'm going to set up my rocks again, because I can. And I know Dragonite's multi-scale will be broken, and I knew they had that. They're gonna go for the Leaf Storm now, and it's gonna do nothing, but it's gonna raise the special attack, which is kind of a problem. I'm gonna set up more stuff here. I'm gonna set up spikes because I know I'm just gonna let it set up on me because I can deal with it later. with either Skarmory probably, or Houndoom really. But I'm gonna just take these hits. I'm gonna lay down some more spikes. I actually went for toxic spikes this turn. It's just so I can get poison, which I guess is already. I could have went for other spikes, but the spikes out of all the three I have is the least efficient, I'd say. Spikes doesn't do much damage. Well, it does, but I don't know. I think Stealth Rock's better. But anyway, I have a Citrus Berry, which I guess doesn't really matter that much. Because this turn I went Boom. They have a Reflect Up though, so they are definitely going to live it. And surprisingly, Superior is pretty bulky because it's actually more bulkier than offensive. It's just made offensive due to its contrary ability. But down goes Fortress, and I'm actually going to send out Houndoom here instead. I have no time to set up a sub or nasty plot. I'm just going to go straight up for the Flamethrower. Or Flamethrower, yeah. So I'm going to Mega Evolve. And they're actually going to go for the Leaf Storm, which I wasn't thinking at first. I was like, oh wait, a Dragon Pulse will knock me out. Leaf Storm, I just live on 6 HP, and I go for the Flamethrower. It's got an Akka Berry. I only knew that because I did the battle. And I still knocked the Superior out, which is... I was in shock when they pulled out that berry. But anyway, Superior goes down. I don't have my Nasty Plot up, but I do still have a decent special attack, like I mentioned earlier. Luckily, they're going to send out Torkoal, which is really slow. They're going to take some damage from the entry hazards and get poisoned, not like it matters. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse, and I know this will take it out, because Torkoal's defensively bulky, but it's not really special defensively bulky. So down goes Torkoal. Houndoom's doing good right now, and now their last Pokemon's Dragonite. But since I have the Rocks up and the Rocks up, yeah. Its multi-skill will be broken if it has it, which it should. I went for Dark Pulse here. I wasn't sure if it was gonna kill, but it just didn't. It didn't, and it flinched though. I got a flinch, and my Houndoom would have been down, or they would have been able to have a Dragon Dance. And down goes Dragonite. That was it. That's a good example of how Houndoom works.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, leave a like, follow me on Twitter, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it.